Provocateur is Tom Coffey, Chief Executive of the Dublin City Business Association. Tom I've also known since I first came to Dublin. We shared a passion for business improvement districts, which he has since championed into practice. We also forged some kind of very strange bond, I think. I first came across my mindset for planning for the unexpected in the British Special Forces, so about 40 years ago. Tom's family history or heritage seemed to be of a more irregular nature, but with the same activities and sometimes in conflict with mine. Anyway, Tom, let me hand over to you.
Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And John, thank you for asking me to do this. When John asked me to do this, he said you have to be a little bit provocative. So this speech is not politically correct. But it's not meant to tell you what to do either. I think that's for all of us later on to decide. Now, about 20 years ago, I gave a speech in Waterford, and I mentioned to them that Dublin was a city, Ireland was a city-state called Dublin, and that Waterford was a suburb of it, and they didn't take it too well. In actual fact, they told me I was a Dublin Jackeen and that I shouldn't be coming down telling them what to do in Waterford. I did later on tell them I was from Waterford and my uncle was mayor of Waterford, but at the time they were outraged, and I was down there last year giving a speech, and I reminded them of that speech I gave 20 or 25 years ago, whatever it was, and that I was delighted that they were now accepting this and that they were building a decent road from Waterford to Dublin so that people like me could get up to Dublin more easily. I think that cities are essential. I'd like to have the Medicis back in Dublin to run the city in the times we're in now. And when I was thinking about what am I going to say, I didn't want to get into a kind of a bland recitation of all the kind of things we need to do. So I thought I would write a speech based on words, which sounds a little bit peculiar, and we are in a period of recession. But a recession is a period of opportunity. And while there is great economic dislocation out there now, we have members who are buying property, and we are preparing for a new Dublin in lots of ways. Building costs are lower. Land costs of buildings, if you want to buy them, are lower as well. So we really are not. We have an opportunity now to do something because of the lag in the economy that will probably take 5 or 8 years. And of course, as we wake up every morning, people will be losing their jobs. Businesses will be shedding people, and businesses right now are closing down, and there is a lot of economic pain for people. But at the end of the day, we'll come out of this, and in 10 years' time, the city will be vibrant again. The trick is making the right decisions now and not repeating the past, because when we come out of this, we will not be recurring and coming back to the past. This is not a recession. We actually have 2 recessions. We have the international one and we have the Irish one. The Irish one is self-inflicted, and the international one, well, it probably is self-inflicted by the people who did it, but the point about it is we're still stuck in it. So to come down then to the Dublin region and the way we're thinking, I would just like to propose a few suggestions, or maybe questions, or probably is more accurate, about words. Is black white? Is a dictator a strong man if he's on our side? Is a dictator part of the axis of evil if he's not on our side? Is a contractor a mercenary, or is he a plumber? If I bring him to my house, he's a plumber. It seems in Iraq they're mercenaries, but they're called plumbers. Is torture abuse when Americans do it? And is abuse not torture if you don't die? Is waterboarding a feeling of drowning, or is it really drowning? In case there are some here who don't know what it is, you put a towel over the person's face and you pour water on it. You can't breathe. You can't see. You are drowning. It's not a feeling. Are assertions of weapons of mass destruction credible evidence? Why are civilians called target collateral damage when they're killed? You're dead. It's not collateral damage. It's civilians being killed. What do words mean in the 21st century? We're now in an electronic age. We've never had as much information. And yet we are never so confused or perhaps even misled in what we are surrounded by in terms of information. And so when we're talking about the future, which is today and in all the plans we do, the meaning of the words becomes enormously important. If we do not agree on the precise meaning of the words we use and what we write, how can we agree what we're going to do? And then if we can't agree what they really mean, how can we do it? Because if we want people to be accountable, we must know what accountability means, which is that the performance must be delivered. The future of our city and its region is important. But any plan that we do must eventually be written down and it must be precise. I believe that our plans are legal agreements between civic society, our elected representatives, and our administrators. And in democracies, this is how structures deliver results. But if the words are not precise, then the entire system starts to get weak and we don't get delivery. Now we talk about a living city and the Dublin region, the primacy of the city centre. The question is, do we really know what they mean? We all probably have a different view of what they mean. And I think we need greater clarity. And I think it's terrific to see the kind of work done by John and Conor and all his colleagues, because this is the kind of debate and thinking we need to have, because you can't expect somebody else to do it. We've got to do it as people in the city who think and lead. And we all have to take responsibility for it. And if these words mean anything, in looking at the past a little bit, why has the rate space of the city centre been cannibalised through dispersal and shrunk during the last 10 years of the Celtic Tiger boom?